Yo, what's going on, Tight Nation? Thanks for tuning into the Two Tone Zone. I am your host, Mr. Two Tone. And as always, I got my boy D Weez in the building. D Weez, say what up, bro?
What up? Let's go, man.
Man, what up with y'all people, man? We hope this evening in this video find you guys in at least a decent space. You know, we know as Titans fans, we just witnessed some Twilight Zone like football. Things just definitely didn't go our way. It was a perfect storm. Arizona took full advantage of us, but we'll talk about it. We'll dive deep into some things. I want to bring back a special guest, Mark. We had him on our last show just yesterday, so we're going to bring him back in. So, folks, go on and say what up to Mark. What it do, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
There he is.
It's going. Yeah, definitely rough indeed, man. We're definitely gonna lick our wounds and try just move on. I know, we can sit here and feel sorry for ourselves as Titans fans, and our week has definitely started off on the wrong foot. But we got to figure out how to adapt, right? As Titans fans.
Oh my goodness, that's the way it goes.
We got to treat it as if we are part of the team. We got to bounce back, man. We got to bounce back.
That was good. That was good.
Hey, so man, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, fellas. We got our behinds whooped today. We ended up falling short. Final score: Cardinals 38, Tennessee Titans 13. Let's go ahead and pinpoint where we feel the Titans fell short in this football game. Mark, I'm gonna start with you, bro.
Man, it has to be the offensive line. They were beaten up all game from start to finish. Jones had 5 sacks, 2 fumbles, and it was just not good. And they didn't even blitz a whole lot. They didn't have to. Lawan even got benched at one point, and so I would say top to bottom from the line, it just wasn't good at any spot across that line. Something they're gonna have to fix in a hurry.
Right. David Questenberry was also getting eat up at that right tackle spot. Hey, but D Weez, we were talking about it earlier. Lawan going back into the
tent.
Into the tent, man. What was that about?
The coach. I need one.
D Weez said he was maybe pulling a basketball-esque type of thing. You're going out there, you're getting just destroyed. Your man's definitely just taking advantage of you. You're getting full exploited during his attempts trying to guard or just trying to keep Ryan Tannehill protected. He was definitely getting ate up. So we feel that maybe he was faking the injury, just maybe kind of just dial it back a little bit, maybe make an excuse as to why he was getting torched. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he came back in late. I saw him back out there, but it is possible he was getting destroyed. And when you're trying to save a little bit of pride, it makes sense.
Right. D Weez, man. Hey, what would you say was our biggest downfall as to why we lost this game?
I mean, I agree with Mark. Our line had a lot to do with it. I also think that a little bit on the cornerbacks. I mean, Is it just Kyler Murray just creates that much time for himself to where we're like we can't keep up with the receivers, or is it just maybe we got some fresh rooks in there and get the jitters out first game? We play against some big top dogs. You got Hopkins,
right?
You got AJ Green. I know if I was lining up against them, I'd be like, this man's a baller, bro. But did Murray create enough time to where his receivers could get open, or was that just our fault on the corner situation?
It was a combination of both. I'll agree with you. And I'll go ahead and say it. Janoris Jenkins was getting torched today. D Hop made him look silly. When he in the beginning, when DeAndre Hopkins got his first reception, it looked like Janoris Jenkins just slipped up a little bit. So I figured just watching the game, he would get better as the game progressed. But I was absolutely wrong. He got worse as the game started to move forward. And it was bad. It was a bad look. And I was talking to Mark during the game, and he suggested that maybe, hey, you think we should switch over to bring over Christian Fulton to lock up DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, I mean, it definitely could have been done. Mark, I'll go ahead and let you touch on that a little bit as to why you thought that would have been a better look for Shane Bowen to make.
Well, really, I thought Fulton had played well. He had covered Green a couple times, had a couple good pass breakups, especially early on. And Green had no separation at all, really. I mean, Fulton had stuck with him so well that I thought, well, maybe that was, with Hopkins really torching Jenkins a little bit, I thought maybe they should make the switch and not wait too long because Jenkins just couldn't. I mean, it was clear. It was evident early, like you said. It was not a lost my train of thought. But nonetheless, Fulton was having a better game early on. And when you have Hopkins out there torching, I don't think you have time to really waste on making that change.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got you. And during this whole entire game, was there any moment, because like I said, we were having problems on our offensive line, and also our corners couldn't catch a cold today as far as keeping guys in line. You know what I'm saying? They were getting beat, so not being able to catch their opponent, which is the wide receiver, being able to catch them off guard and be able to mirror them. So, at any point, were you guys thinking that that our coordinators were an issue, like in regards to Todd Downing and Shane Bowen? D Weez, I'll go ahead and start with you.
Man, I don't know. It just looked like we had no energy out there too. It looked like we was lacking energy. Like, I think the plays were good. Tannehill didn't have any time.
Right.
The defense, they had all the time, it looked like. So I really can't decide that off of week one because there was too many factors in to the game today. You got Chandler getting 5 sacks, 3 in the first half.
Right.
That changes the whole game plan because now Tannehill's panicking the whole time.
Right. He's never
like,
able.
You don't want to get hit. He man, those hits weren't. Chandler was like coming. Like those hits were some hits. Those weren't just like, oh, swing me down. Like he was putting that shoulder pad right to the man.
Tannehill was never able to get comfortable.
No.
And at sometimes it looked like maybe he held onto the ball too long and he was being a little indecisive. But for the most part, there was just no time back there.
Right.
So, I can agree with that. What about you, Mark? At any point were you doubting our new coordinators in Todd Downing and Shane Bowen?
I don't want to overreact too much, but it was, especially offensively early on, even before things really got as bad as they did, it just felt like there was no creativity offensively. They were very content to run Henry on first down. Every play, there was no play action. There was no, and they were all just kind of right up the middle type of runs, and Arizona was waiting for it.
Right.
And he was losing 4 yards and losing 2 yards and just getting popped in the backfield. And the first 2 or 3 drives, you thought, okay, well, it's early. They have time to change this around. And again, I think it was like 60% of the plays in the first half, the drives in the first half started with a Henry run on first down.
Right.
I think you got to mix it up a little bit better than that. So I think Downing is going to have some learning on that side, with the creativity and things like that, that you want to mix it up with. Defensively, I thought it was, again, not terrible. We were playing with our backs against the wall all game. They were on the field all day long. They were exhausted. I wouldn't read too much into that quite yet just because of the situation. Right. But offensively, that's where I thought most of our problems lied.
Mm-hmm. I got you. So while we're talking about the offense and you were talking about us not being able to get going with Derrick Henry because things just were a little too obvious, a little vanilla. I was telling Weez earlier, I felt like we should have maybe got McNichols involved earlier in the game in our run game and took a lot of heat off of Derrick Henry. Maybe got Mekhi Sargent in the mix a little earlier on in the game, just because they knew when Derrick Henry was getting the ball, they were able to shut that down. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, before Malcolm Butler retired, did he let him know like how Tennessee Titans run their offense? Because it's just like they knew the playbook, right? They knew exactly where he was going to be at that right moment. So you just never know. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think we should have went to our secondary backs and Mekhi Sargent as well early in the game and maybe taking the load off of Derrick Henry?
It's really hard to know. When you have Derrick Henry, it's so difficult to justify giving anybody else the ball. Not impossible to do, but it's especially week 1 early in the season, it's just hard to imagine anyone besides Henry not getting the ball. And I think when you come out, like you said, and we were just getting handled and they were ready for it, at that point, maybe you should have maybe not consistently, but mixed it up a little bit more and tried to get somebody else involved. And again, those little shotgun runs, man, they work. Those draw plays, they work really, really well when they're anticipating that the way that they were. You could have used Sargent on plays like that or McNichols on plays like that as well to mix it up some. So I mean, I could agree with that. At least a couple of times we should have went somewhere else.
Just earlier on in the game, right?
Right.
D Weez,
don't
what
let him
about
sit
you?
on Henry so easy.
Yeah, facts, man. Big facts, bro. D Weez, what about you, man?
Oh man, it's crazy. It's just week 1. I'm not going to look too far into it. Like Mark said, I'm not going to go crazy on this week 1. We got new offensive coordinator. We got new receiver, big time receiver. We got to find where we all click at. I feel like this was a test run. We just got to find where we all can mesh at and how everybody complements each other. Today was just like a trial run against a really good team. Like you said earlier, I mean, we were making them look like they were Super Bowl contenders.
No, we made the Arizona Cardinals look better than they really are.
Yeah, exactly. So we gotta find where we're all gonna mesh at as one. So
for sure, man.
I'm not gonna look too deep into it.
For sure, it starts up front. So for me,
right?
If I'm Mike Vrabel, I'm knocking on Keith Carter's door tomorrow morning. Hey, man, what's your plan moving forward? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With this offensive line, how are we going to get them in line? How are we going to get them moving and cognizant and make sure that continuity is there? You know what I'm saying? Making sure that trust is there and make sure that knowledge and they know where to be and they can trust that the man that's lining up on the left side, on the right side, like whatever, doesn't matter. Got to make sure that they know that they're making the right moves in the right time and moving as one.
Well, like you were saying, you cannot let Chester Rogers be our leading receiver.
True. He had 62 yards. But what I'm saying is, I mean, just going back to the running backs though, we weren't getting that push up front. We weren't getting those holes for Derrick Henry getting opened up soon enough in the game. You know what I'm saying? That they were just completely destroying our offensive line. So not only were they getting destroyed in the pass rush, but also in the run block too. So they got to figure it out, man. They had their work cut out for them this week. That's for sure. Especially going into Seattle. They
played tough today. Seattle played tough today too.
They did play tough today, man. So we get to watch film on on the Seahawks game. They could play the Indianapolis Colts, so we get to kill two birds with one stone watching that film. So we'll talk about that towards the end of the show. Who do you feel stood out the most on the offensive side though today, as far as being the biggest asset to the team? Who do you think stood out?
Probably Chester Rogers.
You think Chester Rogers?
Yeah, okay. You know what? Again, it's rough. He shouldn't be the leading receiver, but the fact that he does help him stand out a little bit. He becomes that extra option in the slot, and he did some good things today. I think going forward, he's going to be a nice little piece for us. But I mean, when you look across the board at everybody else, there wasn't really anything else. Nobody else really stood out. And part of that is just because of who we're talking about. Julio, AJ, Henry, and none of them had good games, really.
I would say, I'm just going to jump in. I would say AJ Brown stood out the most for me on offense. He stood out the most for me because once he got into the mix and he was able to make a couple plays, even though he had a 13-yard touchdown pass from Tannehill, that kind of gave us a different edge, and that showed you that if you put the ball in the right spot, he's gonna go get it, right? And he showed that. So I would say that AJ Brown definitely stood out the most on offense, in my opinion. D Weez, what about you, bro?
I was gonna say AJ Brown, the man who got a touchdown.
Yeah,
Chester Rogers for sure is a baller. He's a baller. He showed up today. I'm looking for what happened to Josh Reynolds, man.
Josh Reynolds, he's still hurt, man.
He didn't suit up.
He didn't even suit up today? Okay.
Nah, he's not ready, man. We saw Racey McMath in there. We saw Nick Westbrook-Akina. He had I think he had one catch out there for us. So, but just ultimately, Tannehill didn't have the time to go through his progressions, to even get the ball out early in a check down situation, or maybe trying to get something off in the screens and the flats. He didn't even have time to do that. So, like I said, the biggest piece of this is Keith Carter. You got your work cut out for you for that offensive line. Just to pivot over to our defensive side before we touch on special teams, because that's a whole other subject that we got to touch on. But as far as our defense goes, who were you most impressed with from our defensive unit? D Weez, I'll go ahead and ask you first, bro.
I don't know. The player I was looking for yesterday, I called out, say he's going to be a baller for me. He missed a pivotal tackle. So the whole defense just didn't look in sync.
Are you talking about Elijah Molden?
Yeah, man. He missed that tackle in the backfield. I was so hurt. I was like, he had a chance to shine, but I don't know. Defense, I don't know. Honestly, I think the whole defense as a whole just didn't show up today. There's not really one player. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons for sure, but I mean,
yeah. But who impressed you the most, though? Like, I know. We as a defense, we fell short of putting a good performance out there and getting some stops. But I mean, but there's got to be somebody who impressed you out there. Somebody.
I mean, I'll just go with our ballers who got the sacks today, man. I'll just go with Landry, and who was the other one? Simmons? Was it Simmons?
Simmons, yeah. It was
yeah.
Simmons.
I'll just go with the cats that got sacks today. I'll just go with both of them because they each got a sack.
I got you.
I think our secondary was they just weren't there, man. It just looked like, to me, I don't know. I got to watch like the whole film like while they were recording the receivers and cornerbacks like battling, but maybe I don't know. I just didn't see enough out of the secondary, so I'll just go to our two linemen that got sacks.
Yeah, they just got to talk more out there. Mark,
Yeah.
What about you, man? Who impressed you most on defense?
Man, like we said, man, it wasn't good, especially in the secondary. I thought Fulton did a lot of good things today, though. Like I said, he had a couple of big pass breakups. He had one in the end zone, and I felt that he stepped up where he needed to. But as a whole, we couldn't put it together, and that's the problem.
Right.
But I think for me, Fulton definitely was the guy that most impressed me.
For sure. And you said that yesterday. That's who you thought was going to have a good game. So, man.
No, I think we need him. I mean, we need him to, he's young, but unfortunately at those positions, we're just young in general outside of Jenkins. And so he's going to have to be that guy that steps up. We got Molden, who's a rookie, Farley, who's a rookie.
Right.
Who's the next man up? He's, second year. He's going to have to be the guy that steps up and makes plays and kind of starts to take that leadership role a little bit.
Right. No, I agree with you guys wholeheartedly with your guys' answers. Let me know what you think about this though. I thought it doesn't show in the stat sheet, but Bud Dupree was getting pressure out there. He was getting pressure out there. He was playing fast. He just wasn't able to contain us, and he was playing so fast he wasn't able to slow down to where he was able to square up on Murray, right, and be able to close in on him. But he was getting pressure out there, and he was getting a lot of double teams, right? And he was still getting out there. We just couldn't capitalize. So I liked what I saw at number 48. I liked what I saw out him, just on the surface, though. Like I said, we're not going to see it once we dive into the stats, but he definitely put in some work today.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, like I told you earlier, man, we got pressure a lot of that game. We had a lot of pressure out there. Murray is just Murray. He's going to avoid a lot of it, but a lot of that was because of Dupree coming off the end.
Right. I was hoping to see Rashad Weaver today. I was hoping to see him out there, getting active and being disruptive, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. So who knows? We might be able to see him this weekend against the Seattle Seahawks. All right, man. Let's go ahead and pivot over to special teams. So Sam Ficken got hurt Thursday or Friday, correct? Of last
something
week.
like that. I think I heard that he was banged up or something. So they brought in Badgley.
Ben Badgley was released from the Chargers just last week, and was called up and just put into the situation. Does he get a pass? Or if you ask me, he's fired, man. Like all his stuff is going to be outside the locker room. Like he can't even get in the locker room after the game. I would leave it just outside and say, "Hey, man,
hey, thanks for coming.
We appreciate your services, man." But
here's $100,000. Thanks for showing up.
This locker room's for players only. So
here's $100,000, bro. Thanks for coming.
Man, what's up with that, man? We left 4 points out there. Dude misses an extra point. and then misses a field goal. What's up with that? What's going on, man? Why can't we get it right? It's been Mark said it's been about 10 years since we were able to find like a solid kicker. Like, what's up with that? Is it a curse? Like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go back and try to get guys?
It's rough. It's something that I've never seen. Not like long spread like this where you just can't find a kicker. And for me, I don't want to pretend that their job is easy, but kickers don't get a pass. You kick the ball. That's it. That's your job.
That's it.
You're going to miss a couple here and there, and that's fine. But you come out, you miss an extra point, like you said, you miss a field goal. You can't do that at this level. Not at the clip. And in Badgley last year, I think they said missed like 9 or 10 field goals or something for the Chargers, which is why he got released in the first place.
Right.
So like you just can't do this at that level and expect to continue on, on a pro level.
Right, man.
Yeah, if you can't knock down a 40-plus yard field goal, there's no reason why you need to be on any NFL team.
Right. And then what's the extent of Sam Fickens' injury?
I have no idea. I just heard something briefly, and maybe he's not even hurt. I just heard he wasn't playing. I assumed he was hurt, so I could be wrong about that, but
right.
Right.
That's definitely some research that needs to be done. I probably should have did it prior to this show, but I'll go ahead and hop on that. No worries at all. No worries at all. Does Julio Jones get a pass for his drops today? Mark, I'm going to start with you on this one. Does he get a pass for his drops?
I don't know, man. No, he's still Julio Jones. He's got he knows better. He's got to make those plays. I mean, but they were tough. They were tough plays. I think the one in the end zone, especially, the coverage was there. It still hit his hands. He's got to find a way to bring that in. But I think, like you said, some of it is timing. Some of it is just trying to get that situated with Tannehill, where maybe he's expecting the ball sooner. It's not coming, and you have to adjust to it as a receiver. So, no, I mean, I wouldn't give him a pass per se, but I don't think it's going to be a problem going forward either.
For sure. D Weez, you?
He's just warming up. He's warming up. New system, new program. This is his first game, official game. He probably had jitters too, playing in Tennessee. He was like, "Man, it's a new role for me."
Right.
He's trying to adjust to his new home. So,
for sure,
he's going to adjust. He's going to adjust real nice here soon. Watch.
I mean, just like what I tell my son, man. He plays football. He just started playing football. If the ball hits your hands, man, you got to catch it. And those balls that were out there hit his hands. So, as a professional, as a role model,
it's a different spiral. Two different spirals.
You got to catch it, man. You got
spiral. Used to a Falcon spiral. Yeah, Matt Ryan spiral. It's a new Tannehill spiral now.
He gets no love, man. He gets no pass now. I love you, Julio. My wife bought me your jersey, man. So I was definitely rocking it yesterday. But anyway, man. What about Jeff Swain? Does he get a pass for the touchdown pass that he could have potentially had in the end zone?
Oh man.
Hey, Luke Stalker would have caught that. Maybe we should have kept Luke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Hey, so D Weez, you put up on the screen. Did we lack energy overall?
Yes.
Overall, yeah, definitely. We started off slow. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Do you think that comes from just the fact that last year there was no fans in the stadium to having a full-fledged stadium behind you? They were bringing the noise. You think it was just the jitters? They were just getting things out.
I don't know. You gotta bring that. You gotta bring that. Every team is a rivalry. I was watching last night. I was watching like all the highlights from last year, and when they were stomping on the Ravens logo, like that energy, like is just unmatched. Like I don't know why, but I was expecting that energy today with the game. Like I just expect him to come out with that same energy. Maybe missing Malcolm Butler, he's not bringing that craziness, not bringing that, talk smack mentality. We need somebody to start talking smack. It looked like there was just no smack talking going on out there.
Mm-hmm.
I just need that. Like I said, we just need that every game is a rivalry. Let's go. I need that energy. Just bring that energy out, and it's gonna correlate to the game. Easy.
Right. Yeah. Because we're definitely gonna have to bring energy going into Seattle on Sunday. I know it's probably gotta be a terror playing in there. It's so loud.
They got the 12 man.
Right. It's so loud in there, and Pete Carroll, man, he's a he's a sneaky snake in himself, man. He's always got something up his sleeve. So, but yeah, guys, I mean, I think just moving forward, I don't think that we should hit the panic button. And I'm in agreement with you guys. You know, it was just a trial and error, and guys just trying to get to know who they are within their role of this team, and get to know if their teammates really have their back. So this is a situation where it's a great opportunity to build off this. You get to define your culture right now. When you fall, you're gonna get back up. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna make the adjustment? Are you gonna hold yourself accountable? All those things play a huge factor in the success of a team. So, any closing thoughts from you, Mark, moving forward?
No, today it almost felt like they started to buy into their own hype a little bit, especially offensively, where, it was like we got all these weapons, and it just felt like they played like a team that expected to have it given to them. Mm-hmm. And you still have to work in the NFL. Right. So, I think if there's one thing to take away from this, it's that, get this butt whooping out of the way now.
Right.
And then hopefully now you can move forward and say, okay, well, like you said, here's all the mistakes we made. Let's clean it back up, and go from there.
Right, for sure. D Weez, what about you, man? Any closing thoughts before we wrap up?
Bring that energy. Bring the energy. That's what we need. We need some energy. Get that spark we had last year too. You can tell, when players make plays, how the teammates react. We just need some energy today. But we're gonna have it next week, and we're gonna get it going. We're gonna be back in full force, baby.
Big facts. And I think a lot of that needs to come from Bud Dupree, man, because in that Pittsburgh Steelers defense, he was that guy that was bringing that energy, bringing that talk.
Right? Talk.
So Bud Dupree, homie, if you watch this, man, hey, we're looking to you to do your thing, man. Bring the energy, bring the noise, and be the leader of that defense. Keep these other teams' offense off the field, man. It's gonna start with somebody providing that leadership and holding everybody accountable, and also leading by example.
That's right.
With that being said, folks, I hope you guys have a blessed night. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Share the video to your family and friends. Make sure you hit that like button. Once again, I'm Two-Tone. Got D Weez in the building. We got our homie Mark showing up for the Two-Tone, man. Thanks again for coming on, man. It means a lot to us.
Yes, man. Thanks for having me again. Appreciate you guys.
Right. And folks, you're going to see a lot of Mark on the show. So we have a long season ahead of us. But until then, you know the drill. It's Titan Gang or Don't Bang. God bless y'all.